Let me welcome you to the first little show here. ABA Studios, located in Nowheretown, Pennsylvania. We are actually in the dining room slash kitchen, converted. What we're going to do today here is, for me, it's a typical mountain scene. Kind of become known for. I thought the first round here we would do something simple. What we're using here is a wet on wet technique, meaning that we're going to apply some kind of a wet base to the canvas, and we're going to paint on that. In this case, we're going to use white. We're going to use, if you watch Bob Ross, he calls it liquid white. William Alexander calls it magic white. All it is it's an oiled down version of a regular oil paint. The oil content is higher in it than the solids content. It just makes it a little bit more slick. So, got a dry canvas here. We're using 18 by 24. I want to make sure you can see it, but also didn't want to go too large because it takes so much more time to cover a large canvas. Hopefully this is the right size. So, dry canvas, we're going to start by putting on our base white. That's what I'm going to call it. Thin layer over the entire canvas. The fun part is just slap it on, doesn't matter how it is, just as long as it's right now. And I'm going to show you how we get the right amount. It is a woven fiber, so we've got fibers going horizontally and vertically. We're going to make sure that we get it into all those little cracks, because you really don't want to hit a dry spot in the middle of your painting, because that can really ruin your day. It's not the end of the world, but it makes it a little bit more difficult to fix. You can actually kind of feel the brush, but you may have missed it. Even coat. A little bit right there, I can feel it's not enough. Really get that in. Alright, we're going to use what we call the tip test to judge how much we've got on this canvas. We're going to tap it with our finger. It's going to have a good amount on it. You're going to see it on the ridges of your fingerprint. You're not going to see it down in the valley. And that is when you'll know you have enough. I'm not sure if you can see that right there. That part is perfect, but now we want to tap all over the canvas. See, we got a little bit more down here than we want. So we're just going to wipe it off a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't want it all off, just a little bit. There we go, that's good. Looking good. Heavy up top here. Alright, looking good. Now that is our wet base. Alright, let's go to the color. We've got here is we've got cobalt blue. Cobalt blue, guys. I know a lot of people use phthalo blue, which we have here. To me, the cobalt is just a little bit more of a natural sky color. Van Dyke brown, sap green, and these are both titanium white, but I like to put two on my palette because we're going to do some things here where it needs clean titanium white, and I don't want to contaminate with another color. I mean, you don't have to. I like to separate. All right, so here we go. We're going to get a clean 2-inch brush. We're going to tap into some cobalt blue here. See, we're tapping here because we want to get even distribution on the brush. See those bristles folding? That means we're getting it on all parts of the bristle. We'll start with a nice little scalp here. Little X pattern. Notice I'm not filling in, I'm leaving some light spots here. This isn't coloring. Variation gives you the appearance of a little bit of air density. Spots where some clouds are going to land. You're not going to take it all the way down. Not quite. Up here. All right. This is how quick and easy it is to put in a sky. And then what we're going to do is we're going to blend that out. Dry the brush. And we're going to come in here with some circles. The more pressure you apply, the more you're going to blend it out. Said you don't want to overblend, don't overdo it because you want these dark areas. Just like that, the sky's coming out. Tight little circles. Take out the brush strokes. Blend it down into nothing here. That quick, you've got a very quick and easy and effective sky. Well, I want to bring this down a little bit more. There we go. Come back and blend that out. Don't overblend. Alright. Looking good. So while we're at it, while we've got some blue on our brush here, I'm going to come up here into the titanium. I'm sorry, the phthalo blue. Titanium. Same thing. Equal distribution on the brush. Tapping in. I'll put some water in here. For that, like I said, we're using phthalo blue. We're going to come in from the edges and come straight across. Take it all the way to the middle. You want a little bit of reflection coming off the middle. See, right there I had the dry spot where I didn't have quite enough of my liquid white base on there. It's okay, not the end of the world on this, it's because it's on the edge. There we go. Pull it across. Just like we had light and dark variations up in the sky there. For realism, we got the same thing here. A little dark streak, we got a little white streak. We don't want to. So that's going to help bring the water to work. And not like a coloring book. Alright. this side, same thing. Towards the middle. Keeping it as horizontal as you can. And then working towards the middle. Both sides. A little bit darker in there. Take it towards the middle. Yeah, you can see a little support beam right there from behind. Put that out. And just lightly, but we're still with that. A little bit of layer in the area. Area in the middle there. Alright. Strokes out. Maybe we can come back in and make darker areas. Alright. Now, just get some clouds here. Come in titanium white. Get that brush nice and full. Now, all these lighter areas that we have in here, follow those when you can. It's going to help bring it together. Don't have to. We're going to use a circular motion with the brush. We're only going to use the corner. We're not going to use the whole brush, just the corner. And we're going to let it dance. Dance, dance. You got to fight the urge to make it symmetrical. We're not making perfectly round cotton ball clouds here. It's just not the way it is. Let it dance across. Up, down, all around. Alright, now this is what's going to be display. Alright, first of all, I'm going to use a 2-inch brush because I don't want glue mixed in here. We're going to blend it in. You're about to hear very obnoxious noise. That's just cleaning the brush. Nice and dry. Right. Now, blend out just the bottom of these clouds very gently. Once again, only using the corner of our dry 2-inch brush. Gentle circles. Only blending out the bottom of the cloud. And then we're going to come back very gently. We don't want to apply a lot of pressure here. We're going to fluff these clouds. Again, just blending out the bottom. Gentle circles with just the corner and fluff. What's really going to bring us to life though is layers, and for that we need to build on top. So we're going to come in here, we're going to put another layer of clouds right underneath that one. Once again, fight the urge to make it symmetrical. Just let it dance. and fluff. Notice that I'm not filling up the middle here, because like I said, we're going to do a little mountain scene here. No sense in putting in what we're just going to cover. We're going to cover enough of what we do. But you got to see the cool sky and back behind the mountains. Yeah, I'm liking that. And fluff. And fluff. Yeah, a couple little ones down here. We're gonna get some trees in there too, a little bit. Circles and fluff. All right. Good. Like it. You know what? That's not fluffed quite enough. There we go. There we go. Now we want to mix up the mountain color here because like I said, we're going to do mountains here. For that, what we do is we're going to take Van Dyke Brown and we're going to pull into that. We'll use Daylight Blue. You want to use about 2 to 1, 2 parts brown to 1 part blue. Otherwise, you start coming up with a blue-gray. If that's what you want, then that's what you want, if that works for you. Which would work fine here. Looks black right there, but I can see through the palette that we have a nice dark gray. Pull in a little bit of titanium white, mix it in, and see what kind of gray you got. It's a little bit on the blue side, but that's alright, I'm happy with that. Alright. Now, I'm going to put in, we're going to go with a further back larger mountain, and then I think a small mountain once we work on our depth. So, we're going to gray, pull it out. You know what? I don't want to go super dark with that today. So what I'm going to do is some titanium white. I'm going to mix that up a little bit. There we go. I'm happier with that. I don't want a real dark boom in your face gray, so I'm going to mix up with some titanium white. And I need a softer mountain color. There we go. Pull it out. said, I want to go with a larger one, and we're going to cut it with a smaller one. So we're just going to come back in with the brush and cut these edges cleaner. Just going for the general shape of the mountain here. Make it as high as you want, as many peaks. The more peaks, the more interesting the mountain is. Favorite little brushes here. Clean up these edges. By doing this, we're also kind of already creating the landscape as which way it's going to go. Down, fade it away at the base. Down. This is why we use the wet on wet technique. You see how I'm moving this paint? If this was a dry canvas, you could not do that. That's the whole idea behind it. You're blending it and you're moving it on the canvas. I don't know acrylics, so I can't really say either way. But with it being wet on wet, working on that back wet base, I think we try to look on it. I know there is a wet on wet technique for acrylic. I just don't know acrylics. Alright. Right now, the fun part. As we all know that most now gotta have some snow. Yeah. And this is why I went with 2 piles of titanium white. This is nice and clean. I'm not going to have blue mix